Hi, I'm Dakota. I'm back with video number 2 on code.org. Today we're going to be continuing our lessons. Last time on our last video, we went over the basic movements, turns, and counting how many spaces are required in the workspace. Today we're going to be going over sense blocks, so let's jump right into this. First, we want to open up our browser. We want to go back to code.org. Next, we want to go back down to Hour of Code, scroll down, back to the Classic Maze lesson as in last video. Now here I'm going to skip ahead to a review frame using this. As we can see, we're on a frame that looks very familiar. This will be our review, so this is our last practice with the basic movements and repeat blocks. So we need to count our spaces to move red. 1, 2. So we need 2 movement blocks and a turn left. If you tell what direction he is facing, you can either tell right or left is the best option. From here we need to get to the pig, so we need to use this block right here, repeat until pig. So we need to snap that in there, then we need to put in 1, 2 movement blocks. And then we need to put in our left block, and then we need to run the program. And we got through it. Now onto this is going to be a little bit more challenging. See, we have turned into zombie mode with Plants vs. Zombies over here, so we need to get up to the sunflower over here. Dear person, me zombie, me hungry, get to sunflower, can you help me get there with only 5 blocks? So we only need to use 5 for this. We already have our when run block, which is our standard, so repeat is always an option, but we can use it to cut down the code even better. So here we need to move, then we need to turn, move, and turn. So we need to move forward 1, and looking at the direction, we need to go left. Then we move again, and then looking at the direction, we move right. And the code will automatically do what is inside the repeat block. Now here we need to use a little bit of puzzle solving skills. Now if we were to run the command like so, we would just move right into the chomper. Now here we need to use a little bit of problem solving to get back to where we were. So here we need to use our repeat block, and then we need to turn first. Now if we're looking this direction and left is up, we need to go right. Now once we turn right, don't know what he was doing there. We would need to move forward. And once we got down here, we would also need to go right. And we need to turn right, move forward, turn left, and move forward. You can always just plug in these blocks here into this and test it. So let's hit run. Now as you can see, the zombie is moving with the exact pattern we did put into the workspace. Now here they have us a preset code. And this one is new to us. If path, do left. If path to the left, do turn left. Now you want to do the same block that is implemented into this. That way it will read just fine. If you were to say turn right, you would turn right, and that would lead us down. We need to go up, so we need to implement the turn left block.
Brains.
You can see a little sensor is going off next to the zombie. This is sensing if there's a path near us that we can travel that direction. Alright, now we need to put all these blocks together into this piece of code. Now, as usual, we need to use our repeat until sunflower block. We need to use the move forward. We need to use if path block first, not the move forward. If path to the right. So if we were going this way, we don't want to go up, which is left from where the zombie is facing. We need to go right, which would be down. So of course we will just move our move forward block ahead of that, and we will turn to the right.
Brains.
So you can see the sensor is going off, sensing if there's a path next to us that is going right. Of course, we made it down to our zombie. Now here it gets a little bit more trickier with Scraps, the squirrel, trying to get his acorn. Now we need to do the same thing as last time, but later on we're going to be moving on to more difficult pieces of puzzle here. Now of course we're just going to do the same thing as last time, put in our repeat block, if path to the left, we will turn left, and we'll also move forward. See our little sensor going off, sensing path, and he does turn his left, still moving forward, looking for his path to his acorn. Now these blocks are really helpful if you're building any sort of free mode code, which you're creating by yourself, of course. Now here it's just the same thing but a little bit shorter, so of course we just use our repeats, our move forward, our path to the left, now that would be happening if the sensor was on the wrong side of us and he would just keep continuing down into the water. So let's go ahead and fix that with the right command. Now we have a new block. This is known as the if path ahead, do or else block. This will do one of two actions if the path is blocked. So of course we need to just set up our regular code, then we need to implement this. Else turn left. Now you can see it's doing one of two actions. It's either moving ahead or it's turning to the left if there is a path that needs to go to the acorn. This block will also be very handy in your own crafting of your own code. Here we're going to be using another one, so we need to run these commands again. This one needs to be first of all, because if you use anything after it, it'll break your code apart and move you to a different place than you want to be. So of course we need to use our move ahead block as our first inside the path block so we can move forward across this. Next we need to figure out what direction we need to go. So if we go to the edge of this block and we view this area, we can determine that we need to go right. As you can see, Scrap is running towards his acorn with the code we did build. This is our last frame, so they're going to put all the blocks we just learned together for us. We need to implement 3 different blocks into this. So if we determine what we need to move forward into the ahead space. If path is to the right, we need to turn right, else turn left. As you can see, there are multiple different sensors going off in our code that is sensing for different paths, different areas. We have finished our classic maze lesson. To review, we've just learned how path blocks, sense blocks, and repeat blocks all commit to one different source of code. To summarize here, path blocks are more important into a sort of code than to put in to a repeat block. Repeat blocks are used multiple different times throughout different source codes. Hopefully this helped you learn more about coding.